Good morning, students. In the last class, we discussed about certain items of incomes and expenses of a not-for-profit organization. In this class, we will discuss about the accounts and also some of the income sources of not-for-profit organization, that is government grant. The first one is government grant. See, what do you mean by government grant? Government grant is also called as grant in aid. Government grant is also called as grant in aid. Okay, this is the amount raised by the not-for-profit organization from the government, or government sanctions this grant for the maintenance of NPOs. For example, schools or colleges or public hospitals. These are the organizations. Their main motive is not at all profit. So they are NPOs only. They are treated as not-for-profit organization. If they receive government grant, then that is treated as fund to these organizations. So, if they receive the grant continuously for maintaining those organizations, for example, a school received, a school received government grant for maintaining the schools or whatever the educational activities or the services which is rendered to students. For rendering that, if they need funds for that, the grant is received from the government. At that time, that is treated as revenue to these organizations. So that is recurring in nature, means repetitively, yearly, the organization may receive that amount, or it will receive that much amount. In that case, that is recurring in nature, means repetitively that amount is received. So it is treated as revenue receipt. So recurring grants means repetitively receivable or received grants for the purpose of maintenance. It is treated as revenue receipt. Okay, and it is credited to income and expenditure account. It is credited to income and expenditure account. Remember one thing: if a receipt and payment account is there the revenue receipts are recorded, means maybe this year or past year or future, means successive year transaction, means the revenue received or grants received, that is also recorded in the receipt and payment account. But in the if it is recurring in nature, this grant is received from government, then the amount will be huge. That's why it is recorded in the income and expenditure account. Next one is, however, grants, you can see the sentence, however, grant such as building grant are treated as capital receipt and transferred to the building fund account. If a specific purpose grant is there, that is building grant. Building grant means for the purpose of constructing a building. If the grant is received, then that is transferred to building fund account. Instead of recording in the income and expenditure account, it is transferred to building fund account. Okay, where it is transferred? It is transferred to building fund account. Another thing is that usually not-for-profit organization, means NPOs, receive cash subsidy from government agencies or from the government. They usually receive cash subsidy. Okay, that cash subsidy may be received from government or from the government agencies. In that case, it is treated as revenue income for the year in which it is received. You can record it as a revenue receipt, and it is recorded in the receipt and payment account. Okay. If it is current year revenue, means the cash subsidy is received yearly, this year cash subsidy is received, then you can record it as a revenue income, and you can record it in the income and expenditure account. So overall we can say a specific fund is there, specific grant is there, then in that concerned account to that account it is transferred. Means building grant is to that grant account, building grant account, it is transferred. Otherwise, you can treat it as revenue receipt and it is credited to income and expenditure account. Means income side it is recorded. Or current year income is there, current year revenue is there, then it is treated as a revenue income for the year, this year revenue, like that you can treat it. Next one is special funds. Sometimes NPOs create special funds. It will create some of the funds for only for that specific purpose that fund is useful. For example, not-for-profit organizations, see the sentence, office create special funds for certain purposes or activities such as prize fund, match fund, sports fund, etc. If not-for-profit organization is there and it creates a specific fund for a specific purpose, the fund is created for a certain process or a specific activity, for performing that activity, thus funds are created. Maybe prize fund, match fund or sports fund. For example, if we consider sports fund, for example 25 lakh rupees, okay, how much? 25 lakh rupees sports fund is created by NPO, not for profit organization. If this amount is invested in a security, for example in a share market, that is invested, or anywhere on a securities it is invested, the investment is made. In return, if we earn some money, for example if we invest 25 lakh rupees and we earned 2 lakh rupees income, we earned 2 lakh rupees. So this amount is there, not this 2 lakh rupees, it is recorded as an addition to this amount, means that to that fund it is added. It is not at all recorded in separately, it is directly added to concerned fund. Here we took sports fund as an example, isn't it? Here we took sports fund as an example. So 25 lakh rupees sports fund is there, it is invested in a market, share market, or on securities it is invested. If we got 2 lakh rupees revenue, and in that case it is added to sports fund itself. If we spend some money, if expenses are incurred, in that case it is deducted from this sports fund. 25 lakh rupees is there, if we earn 2 lakh rupees it is added. If we spend some money, for example 10,000 we spend, then that is deducted from the same sports fund. Just remember this one, okay? This is about special fund, okay? Next one is accounting records of not-for-profit organization. Here, in a not-for-profit organization, if an NPO is there, it is not at all a trading concern, or it is not at all involved in a business activity. In that case, it will not collect, or the investment is not made by the owner. Here, capital will not be there. Instead of capital fund will be there in the balance sheet's liability side. These are the organization, they need to maintain the accounts. Why these organizations prepare the accounts? Why they maintain books of account? There is a legal requirement, statutory requirement, means legal requirement is there. That's why they prepare the accounts. And also to avoid the mischiefs or misappropriation in the accounts, for that purpose these organizations maintain the accounts. And also another thing, important thing is that contributors or the members, subscribers of the organization, they contributed some money, isn't it? The funds are raised from the subscription also and from different sources of income. So these NPOs are responsible for the fund which is raised from different sources. For example, if we consider subscription amount, the members, they pay the subscription amount, isn't it? Membership fees is paid by subscribers, means members. In that case, how much the funds are raised, how it is utilized, whether it is utilized or not, or any misappropriation taken place, that we need to know. That's why we need to prepare the accounts, so that we can find out how much funds are raised and how that much amount is utilized or where it is spent. For knowing that, we need to prepare the accounts. In a business or a trading concern, we used to prepare cash book, journal, ledger, balance sheet, trading and profit and loss account, isn't it? Like that, these organizations also prepare ledgers. They also prepare ledger. They'll not prepare capital account. Instead, they maintain a capital fund that is recorded in the balance sheet. Okay, here in this one, in these not-for-profit organization, they maintain capital fund. In the balance sheets, liability side, capital fund is recorded. This is the accumulated fund of all the income sources. Maybe donation, subscription amount, or income from investment, or from the subscribers amount received, legacies, grant in aid. All these are the income sources that is recorded in the capital fund only. Okay, that is the accumulation or total of all the income sources. So capital increases when additional amount is invested by the owner. As you remember, in the last year we learned that capital increases only when the additional amount is invested by the owner, isn't it? But here capital is not there, as this is not related to involved in the trading activity. So they prepare ledger, but different assets, liabilities, expenses, revenues accounts are opened. But capital account is not prepared, as we record here capital fund. That is, capital fund is the accumulation or total of all the income sources. We can find out the result of whether the NPOs are in surplus or they are suffering deficit. That we can find out with the help of income and expenditure account, similar to trading in profit and loss account, but we prepare income and expenditure account. Okay, how much income is there, means funds are raised, and how much the amount is spent. That can be found with the help of preparing the income and expenditure account. So these organizations, NPOs, prepare ledger, cash book, stock register. They prepare cash book, but one thing is that not-for-profit organization in the cash book, they will not record any non-cash expense. Stock registers are maintained so that how much the funds are utilized, and we can keep a complete record of fixed assets and consumables. How much stock is there, means how much fixed assets are there and consumables are there. That can be found with the help of the stock register. That's why we need to maintain the accounts, means stock register. Okay, these not-for-profit organizations transactions are in cash or through bank, means through check they may deal, or through account bank, means the account transfer may be there. The funds are collected from one account and it is transferred to another account. From one account, that fund is transferred to your account. So bank transactions or cash transaction may be there. There is a legal requirement, and members, these NPOs are responsible to, they are answerable to members of the organizations. That's why they need to maintain the accounts, and to avoid misappropriation they need to prepare the accounts. So they prepare ledger, cash book, stock registers, and also they need to maintain some of the accounts and also financial statement they use to prepare final accounts or financial statements. See the slide. Here, the first one is receipt and payment account. Final accounts, in that we have first one receipt and payment account, second one is income and expenditure account, third one is balance sheet. These final accounts are prepared, and at the end the results may, or the final accounts are submitted to Registrar of Society. To whom these are submitted? It is submitted to Registrar of Societies. So the first one is receipt and payment account. These receipt and payments account is there, no? This receipt and payment account. It is similar to cash book. In the last year we studied about the cash book, double column cash book, isn't it? There we learned about this one, that the cash book holds two sides, that is receipt side and payment side. It holds two amount column, one is cash column, another one is bank column. In the credit side also, in the debit side, we used to record all the cash receipts and also through bank, means through check, if we received the amount or the cash is or the amount is deposited into account, that is recorded in the debit side. Credit side, all the payments, cash payments or through check payment is done or the amount is withdrawn, it is recorded in the credit side. Here in the cash book, we used to record depreciation also, isn't it? But in the not-for-profit organizations, non-cash expenses are not at all recorded. For example, depreciation or signing salary, those are not at all recorded in the cash book. See, the first final account is receipt and payment account. In this account, we record receipt side, balance brought down. That means it is the opening balance of cash in hand and cash at bank. How much cash is there, and in the bank account how much balance is there at the beginning of the accounting year, that is written here. And another thing is that in the cash book, normal cash book, we used to maintain double entry system, but here also we used to maintain we used to follow double entry system, but only one amount column will be there. Instead of cash and bank column, we maintain only one amount column. Here the balance brought down, debit side means receipt side is there, means it is the opening balance of cash in hand and cash at bank instead of debit side. Credit side, if we have balance brought down, that is the balance of bank overdraft, means more than the receipt payment is there. If excess of receipt over payment is there, then the result will be cash in hand or cash at bank opening balance. If payment is more, means excess of payment over receipt, more expenditure there, in that case the result will be bank overdraft, more than the bank balance. If we withdraw some amount, means payment is more than the result will be bank overdraft. That's why we record in the credit side or the payment side, that is recorded. Remember, we need to write the heading, that is receipt and payment account for the year ending, on which date the year is ending, that we need to write. In the debit side of the receipt and payment account, all the receipts are recorded. Maybe current year or previous year or succeeding year, receipts are recorded. In the credit side, same, present, past and future payments, that is recorded in the credit side. All the subscription, general donation, sale of a newspaper, sale of old asset, locker rent, all these are the revenues. They are revenue receipts. And in the credit side, all the payments are recorded, means expenditures are recorded. Usually in the cash book, we used to record all the receipts and payment on the basis of date, means date wise all the expenses and revenues are recorded. All the payments and cash receipts and cash payments are recorded. But in this receipt and payment account, instead of recording single expense or revenue on a time basis or date wise recording, they record a total amount. They record total receipts and payments. Total receipts and payment is recorded. That's why it is a summary of all cash receipts and cash payment. This is a summary. Single items are not at all recorded date wise or chronologically of salary received on 1st October, 2nd October, like that. If we are not going to record. Instead of that, we used to record total amount or summary of the cash receipts and cash payments are recorded. Another thing is that in this account, non-cash expenses are not at all recorded. Non-cash expense, for example, depreciation or salary outstanding, accrued income, all these are not at all recorded in the receipt and payment account. It is similar to cash book, but non-cash expenses are not at all recorded. Another thing is that end of the year we used to write balance carried on, means at the end of the year how much balance is there in the cash account and also in the bank account, means cash in hand closing balance and cash at bank closing balance. If it is written credit side of the receipt and payment account, means payment side, then the result is positive. So there is a balance in cash account and bank account. If it is negative and it is recorded in the balance brought down is recorded in the debit side, means receipt side of the receipt and payment account, it means there is a credit balance. So it is recorded in the debit side, means receipt side of the receipt and payment account. It means that there is a excess payment more than the receipts. Cash payments are more than the cash receipts. In that case, the result will be bank overdraft. That's why it is written debit side last item, that is balance brought down. Not balance brought down, it is balance carried down. Okay. Here we write balance carried down. That is the closing balance. If the balance is there at the end of the year, it is written credit side, means receipt is more. So debit balance is there, credit side we write balance brought down, cash in hand and cash at bank, separately it is written. If the payment side balance is more, in that case balance carried down is written debit side of receipt and payment account. The specimen, or this is the format of receipt and payment account. You can observe different revenue receipts, cash receipts and cash payments. All these are recorded in this account, debit side, receipt side and credit side. After that it is balanced, and then the balance is transferred for the purpose of preparing much more accounts. See, features of receipt and payment account. What are the features of receipt and payment account? The first one is, it is a summary of cash flow. Why this receipt and payment account is treated as a summary of cash book? Because in the receipt and payment account we record only one amount column, amount column it holds. And another thing is that this is identical with that of simple cash book. This is a simple cash book with the debit and credit sides. Receipts are recorded in the debit side while the payments are entered on the credit side. It is a summary of cash book because single revenue receipts, cash receipts and cash payments are not at all recorded. That expense or revenue is there, no, whatever the receipts and payments are there, its total amount is recorded. It is not at all differentiated, and on date wise it is not at all recorded. Second one is, it shows the total amounts of all receipts and payments irrespective of the period to which they pertain. The receipts may be, or the payments may be pertaining to last year, means previous year, current year, or succeeding year, means next year receipts and payments may be there. That total amount is recorded in the receipt and payment account. It may be capital receipt or revenue receipt, but it is pertaining to this year, next year, or the previous year. It is recorded in the receipt and payment account only. Third one is, it includes all receipts and payments whether they are of capital nature or revenue nature, means capital receipt or revenue receipt. It is recorded in the income and expenditure account. Next one is, no distinction is made receipts or payments made in cash or through bank. Whether the payment is or the receipts are in capital or in cash or through check, means through check or through bank account, the revenue is received or the payments are done, it doesn't affect, and it is shown in the total amount of each cash receipt and payment is shown in this account. So the differentiation of cash transaction or through check the transaction is done, means using bank account the transaction is done, that is not at all differentiated. Next one is, non-cash items are not recorded in this account. Depreciation, outstanding expenses, accrued income, all these are non-cash items. On cash incomes or expenses, these are not at all recorded in the receipt and payment account. Next one is, it begins with opening balance of cash in hand. Balance brought down will be written in left hand side of receipt and payment account, means receipt side. That is the opening balance of cash in hand and cash at bank. At the end, whatever balance carried down is written, no, that is the closing balance of cash in hand and cash at bank. If the result is adverse, means negative result is there, means the payment side or credit side balance is more in the bank transactions, in that case it is treated as bank overdraft. This is about features of receipt and payment account. In the next class we will discuss about much more final accounts, that is income and expenditure account, and also about balance sheet.